You mean they let him do it again? Hell yeah, they did. Hey, yo, it's The Outsiders, Chapter 2, for the second time. We might even expand when we get to next week in game week. They may actually let us do more than one show per week. We'll get to that. Let's pace ourselves. Welcome back to The Outsiders. It is 9 o'clock on a Wednesday. That means it's a What You Drinking Wednesday, and we'll get to it. But let me introduce The Outsiders to you first. Your upper left, by the way, that is, we got a little preview. We'll get there. 12. I promise. Upper left, that's our quarterback, Chance Mock, the Mach 5 himself. Your upper right in a badass Cowboys hat is Jason Dick. That's right. Every show needs one. It's actually his last name. He is here for you once again. Your lower left is the country gorilla, Beau Edge. He's ready. We're 10 days away from Texas football, and Beau cannot contain himself. That's his I can't contain myself face. And your lower right is the voice of the people. He's the guy you want to be friends with. He is Chris Abbott. He's the one closely watching your chats. He might be the reason your chat or come on, super chat gets read during the show. So you want to be friends with Mr. Abbott. I am Chad Hastings, and it is time for The Outsiders. Brought to you by a lot of good folks, but also brought to you by Poncho Outdoors. Let's start there. Ooh, that's Colt camo right there. Look at Colt in the camo. By the way, gents, what do you think of the bandera? You liking the bandera tonight?
I'm really regretting the fact that I didn't get the bandera. But I don't know that I could rock it like a Chad Hastings. I mean, that's a very Aggie-esque.
Somebody scanned the QR code. I appreciate it. By the way, if you go to that website, you'll see Colt taking the phone out of his secret pocket like this. Yeah, I don't quite look as cool, but I do have the phone in the secret pocket. Incredible shirts. Check it out. The shirts. I got to check out one of these hoodies when the weather gets cold. Caps and T-shirts and all kinds of stuff. PonchoOutdoors.com. All right, a What You Drinking Wednesday. That's how we do it. Beau's already getting started. Chance, I'm going to start with you. What you drinking?
El Tequilino. It's my favorite. With water, lime juice. It's perfect on a Wednesday.
There you go. 4 viewers already scanning a QR code. We appreciate that. Jason Dick, what you drinking?
Nailed it, Chance. I'm not drinking today, but I do have the Cava Joy gummies. All right. I sound excellent if you're enjoying a Cava Joy gummy.
More on that as we get to it a little bit later. Thank you, Jason. Beau Edge got started a little early. Beau, what you drinking?
Got a cold Coors Light here in my Mungia Real Estate Yeti.
Ooh, he's a Coors Light man. When the mountains are blue, Beau Edge is ready to roll. Chris Abbott, what are you drinking?
Just like last week, Miller Lite in the Yeti.
He is a Miller Lite man. I am still drying out from my Deep Eddy tasting room experience, so I'm going with a lovely black raspberry LaCroix in a Deep Eddy koozie. That's what I'm doing tonight. So we're still trying to recover. Thanks to the good folks at Deep Eddy for showing us a good time last weekend celebrating a birthday. All right, gentlemen, we have a very special guest coming up a little bit later on. Chance Mock. You talk about going into your Rolodex. You talk about calling in a favor. Chance Mock's got a list of guys he wants to get on the show, maybe girls too. We're going to start with number 4. We're going to start with number 5, talking to number 4 a little bit later on. 9:15 is the plan for Roy Williams. Chance Mock, when's the last time you spoke to Roy Williams face-to-face?
Oh, face-to-face, man. It's been a minute. It would have been at the Cole Pittman Golf Tournament a couple years ago. I tell you what, Roy, you will get to see. Most fans don't have a real appreciation for how colorful Roy is. He's easy. He's fun. He's got a personality that is massive. His personality is about as big as his talent. So should be a hell of a lot of fun when we get him on. Really, I am thankful that he came on. You guys always, you asked me who we're going to get. And I said, man, we got to get the guy that started it all, big number 4. We got to get him because, of course, he's going to tell y'all. I mean, he did play with Tony Romo, but I'm going to put him on the spot and make sure he says who the best quarterback he ever played with. It
Obviously.
Come on. I mean,
of course.
We know this, right?
Yes, of course. Absolutely. I can't wait to hear that conversation. Those two teammates will catch up, and then the rest of us will come in a little bit later and chop it up a little bit with Roy. So that is coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to start tonight, though, Chance, with something you brought up. I saw you bring it up on social media. I thought it was a fantastic conversation. It is the discussion of America's team. We all know who that is in the NFL. Chance, it's not the Bills, it's the Cowboys. We know that. Exactly, Jason. Thank you for the hat help. We know what it is in the NFL, but what is it in college football? That's the question. Is Texas America's team when it comes to college football? There are 10 contestants that we are discussing here, gentlemen. Obviously, there's going to be a pretty heavy Longhorn lean on this discussion, but there they are. Texas, USC, Notre Dame, Michigan, Oregon, and Ohio State, the Crimson Tide, the Hurricanes, the Tigers, and Florida Gators in the 10 spot. Chris Abbott, let me start with you, voice of the fan. Are the Longhorns America's college football team?
Come on, Chad. Of course we are. I mean, we're the fans. They are America's team. Now, I will say this. In my opinion, that number 3 team there, I'm not the biggest fan of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but I will say, as a whole, they do get a lot of follow. But we as a fan, of course, America's team, it's the Texas Longhorns, no doubt.
Jason, Dick, what do you think?
No, it is not the Texas Longhorns. First of all, can we bring this graphic back up? How many national championships does Georgia have to win to even be in consideration? We're possibly going to name the Oregon Ducks America's team, and Georgia can't even get on the graphic?
Oregon was the one blinking at me, too. I agree with you. Oregon was kind of blinking at me like, really? America's team? I know they've got the gear America loves. That doesn't make them America's team, does it?
They're Nike's team. They're not America's team.
Yeah, right. They're the swoosh team. They switch every week, but come on.
It's interesting. How do you do the criteria on America's team? If you want to just do the Longhorns or the Cowboys of college football, I see the parallels there. Huge fan base, just printing money every day. But the answer, Chris hit on it, it's Notre Dame, okay? If you go to somebody who's not a football fan and say, hey, do you know anything about college football? They're going to get to Notre Dame pretty quickly, all right? Sean Astin, Rudy, that's probably why. But the answer is Notre Dame.
Okay, Jason's going with the Gold Dome and God's money. Bo, what do you think?
Well, here's the problem. If you look at it recently, the most famous guy from Notre Dame is Manti Te'o, who has a documentary about his fake girlfriend. They haven't won anything in 30 years. So unless you have recency bias, Alabama, and I hate to say it, I'm a Longhorn. I want it to be the Longhorns. But right now, America's team, because everybody in America either loves or hates Alabama because of their dominance. America's team, like America as a country is dominant, America's team has to be dominant. And Notre Dame, hell, Oregon's more dominant than Notre Dame, and Notre Dame sucks.
Bo, did you just say the most famous Notre Dame football player is Manti Te'o?
In recent history.
I mean, there's no reason to be mean. Like, you're just being vicious and wrong at the same time. Why would you do both of those things?
Have you seen The Untold? It's a good story.
I would argue that in 2023, there's nothing more American than having a fake internet girlfriend. All right? That's what we are about.
That is kind of true. All right, Chance Mock, I know you're going to be partial on this one. I know this is not going to be a truly neutral discussion for you since you played for one of these teams, but make your case for your Longhorns or maybe somebody else.
Well, look, I can make the case for a Longhorn, but first let me just debunk everything else here, okay? Mm-hmm. Notre Dame is not America's team. Notre Dame is the Catholics' team, and there's a massive, massive Catholic contingency in America. That's where it comes from, and they all gravitate. They might go to TCU, and they're still Notre Dame fans because of the Catholic connection, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, LSU, when you get down in the southeast of Louisiana, they're Louisiana's team. But once you get outside of that, I think there's a lot of lore around the Cajuns and the fun that they have in Tiger Stadium. I mean, the Bayou Bengals are a lot of fun when you go to the Red Stick on a Saturday night and you watch some football. You know, the same thing with Florida. Florida, I don't know why they're on the list. I don't know why Oregon's on the list. The top three I get. Texas, Notre Dame, USC. Yep. And those top two ones, Texas and USC, look at across the country, not just the color of the stuff, because people buy Oregon stuff all the time just because of how it looks, right? But people buy Texas gear. Stars wear Texas hats. Stars wear USC hats. That is what people gravitate to. It's more than just a brand in Texas. It's a cool brand to have, whether it's USC or Texas. The only one that I think outside of Notre Dame that has that lure, and it goes all the way back to the 80s, back in the old days, which were great, when they said, you want us to stop dancing in the end zone, keep us from scoring, and that's the U. People love the U too because of the bad boy mantra. And what did the U do? Who'd they have to go there? They go play Joe Pa in Penn State, and that was the game. Man, that was awesome. That was big time stuff. So I will say Texas USC to me are America's team. They're the most that are not regional. They are fully take religion out of it. They are the biggest to me.
All right, real quick, we got a chat to start us off. Sal says, I'm Catholic and I hate Notre Dame. Fair enough. And
you went to a Catholic school growing up. That's why.
And Ray says, I have my marshmallows ready for the Brett Yormark roasting. Don't worry. We will get there, Ray. We will get there.
Hey,
It is the Outsiders.
Real quick, I'm sorry. This is funny. Sal also threw in there that Rudy sucks. Which
How dare you,
funny.
sir?
And it's Rudy's birthday today, by the way. Happy birthday to Rudy Rudiger today.
5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing. Not a speck of athletic ability.
Even his own father didn't like him.
75 today for Rudy Rudiger, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. There you have it. All right. So again, Roy Williams is coming up in just a couple of minutes. It is the Outsiders. We got a lot to get to. We will get to the Dick Move of the week, and it ends up being Dick Moves of the week with Jason Dick. So please stay tuned for that. Right now, though, Beau's going to tell you a little bit about Mungia Real Estate before we get Roy Williams on. Beau, let him know about it.
All right, guys, I told y'all last week, Ray Mungia grew up in Austin. He went to Austin High. Austin is, you may have heard that the real estate market slowed down. Not in Austin. In Austin, it's brimming. It's got life. It's got culture. And that's what Mungia Real Estate focuses on, Austin real estate. He has a team of specialists that work in different areas, South Austin, North Austin, Leander, Cedar Park, Liberty Hill. Wherever you want to go, Ray has someone that can help you. Whether it's buying or selling, Ray can do it. He's been here since he was born here. And that's why he's good at it. And that's why his team is good at it. Now, let me tell you about the newest member of his team, Evan Conair. Just like the movie, we made fun of the bunny last week, and I got some texts about it. Evan Conair. Evan Conair. New to Austin about 3 years ago. He's not new to real estate. He's not new to sales. To Austin. Typically seen Cedar Park and he worked hard for 30. Just QR code and then you need a home, sell your home, or find a new home. It's Mungia Real Estate and Evan Conair.
There we go. Finishing strong. Thank you for those that scanned that QR code. All right. Our guest is ready to roll. Why don't we bring him in with a good memory? This will be a memory I think Chance might enjoy too. Let's enjoy it, and then Chance and Roy will catch up.
Roy Dell.
What up?
Hey, brother. I just want to, since we had to bring that up,
Yeah.
I just want to say, oh, hey, we got a What You Drinking Wednesday. What are you drinking?
Oh, I'm drinking that MVP vodka in my Longhorn Yeti.
That is exactly right. No, I have told people for a long time, and for 20 years now, they have said I was full of shit. But basically, I said I had to look 3 times. I took 2 extra steps, and the announcer said it there. He said, if he hits him in stride, it's a touchdown. We're going to leave that much time on the clock for B.J. Simmons. I was strategically slowing you down so we did not score too quick. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Do you remember the play call?
No.
So I believe I was supposed to run the dig, and I didn't run the dig because there was nobody back there. That's why you took all those hitches, and of course, you underthrew it for your part of it.
It was strategic.
Yeah. But I just saw it opening. We only played together that year, so for us to link up on that, man, that was pretty special right there.
It was good. And, and for that game, Texas Tech, we both have West Texas ties. My dad coached at Tech, played at Tech. Your brother Lloyd played out at Tech. I know that Tech was hot on the track, right? And,
absolutely.
And what went into your thought when you were like, hey, I'm going to go to Texas? Because I know you were getting pressure from everybody in West Texas, from the family and everything else. How'd you make that choice?
Well, I think Mike Leach just got the job at Texas Tech, and I was his first recruit that he actually came to Odessa Permian to recruit. And we watched game film, and he taught me the offense, and he guaranteed me 100 balls a year. I was with it because I come from Odessa Permian, where we might throw it 4 times a game, right? So to hear 100 balls a year, shit, I'm there, right? He said it in front of my mom, and my mom, for some reason, didn't like it, and she cussed Leach out. She was like, "MF, we ain't going there, blah blah." And I was like, "Dang, sorry, coach, we must not. I ain't gonna go there." Right. So fast forward through Texas 4 years, get done. She's like, "Man, I love your career. You had a great time, but you probably would have had 100 balls a year if you wouldn't have went to Texas Tech."
You said, "Thanks, Mom. I appreciate you." You'd probably had 100 balls a year your senior year if I'd have kept playing the whole season, but we're just going to leave that where it's at. So, so look, let's talk about Permian real quick because I just want to get this, and then we're going to get into Texas football. I saw a picture floating around the internet of these kids from Odessa High in their uniform sitting in front of the Permian sign, the scoreboard with all the state titles, all the district titles, everything they've done.
Right.
Flipping the bird, right? To me, that's almost like the Cleveland Browns going up to Pittsburgh and taking the same picture in front of all those Lombardi trophies. Like, what have you done?
Right. Yeah, I was when I saw it, and I'm 23 years removed from high school, but I got pissed off, right? Because there's just a certain line that you don't cross, right? And those kids nowadays are totally different than any other generation, but they cross the line, right? Maybe if they took the picture and maybe they do the O or they just, pose or whatever, maybe it's cool. And maybe you hold on to it to game week. That makes good media. But to flip the bird and you don't even have a sign, I mean, it's just that's the problem that I have. And the other problem I have is I've coached a couple of those kids growing up in youth football. So that's the part that pisses me off.
Please tell them you shot him a text.
Well, I saw a couple of them. They got suspended for a scrimmage. So they came to my son plays at Midland Legacy. That's why I had this ugly maroon crap on.
That's where my mama went, right?
Really?
Yeah.
So this was his senior year. So it's my last time I get to wear this crap. But anyway, I saw them at the scrimmage and I said, "Hey guys, but you guys ashamed of what you did?" They kind of looked at me like, gave me like the no face. I said, "If you have to do it again, would you do it again?" They looked at each other. And I was like, "I ought to run y'all right now if I could." But it's just their mentality, man. And they really do feel like they have the upper advantage of beating Permian this year. So it's going to be a great game.
So, all right. So let's look at it's a different group of kids now, right? Like you and I, when we were coming out, the world was a different place. It was all about team. We were about each other. Yeah, we had guys like you that got your awards, DJ, all the things that y'all did, but it was a team deal. And I remember we were both 5 stars coming out. And, I've told the story about your answer machine, and it cracks me up to this day. But we're both 5 stars. You come in, you make an immediate impact. You decide to come back your senior year. And I'm sitting there looking at it. And, I like to feel like you were coming back because you knew you had such a good quarterback coming back, and you knew that that's what you needed. But really, you gave a speech to some kids at an elementary school we were at, and you pulled out $1 out of your pocket. You said, "If I give you $1 now, would you take it? If I had $100 that I'll give you next year." And that you gave this speech, and I thought it was great. And it made me sit back, even 22-year-old me listening to you, it made me step back and understand really what your mindset was. But I look at today's world with this NIL stuff. Do you think if we were getting the money that these kids are getting now, would you have made that same decision?
That's a 2-part answer for me. I love my senior year. I love the University of Texas. I bleed orange. I wear Texas something every day. Hell, I even ordered my Texas sandals. I got my Texas sandals.
That's all you ever wore was sandals.
Yeah, I got my Texas sandals. So I bleed orange. If I could go back, I would probably left my junior year. If I can go back. No offense to nobody else. I probably would have left my junior year. But I'm happy that I stayed, obviously. The NIL stuff, I think the Texas boosters would be broke with our teams. You got every position had a superstar at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think they would have been broke. I really do.
I think that money is real deep and goes real long, and we could have figured out a way to make it work. That's all I can say.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I would have loved to play in this era right now and get this opportunity that these kids are getting. But it's players that were before us, that was us, and a little bit after us that paved the way for these kids to be able to get this opportunity.
So real quick before we bring in the group, let's talk some X's and O's. So I've always made the comment we when we were playing, this new spread offense, that was the new deal that was so neat, and everybody spread the ball out. But as you've seen, the pro game has pushed itself down into the college game, preserving your defense, putting them in a position to where they're not on the field for 85, 90 plays a game, having an offense that you can run the ball. Look at what Georgia runs the ball. TCU ran the ball. Ohio State can run the ball. Alabama runs the ball, but they can also turn around and strike it deep. It's that pro style. You played both. You played in Detroit. You played in Dallas. I feel like that pro style offense now in the college game is what is dictating the winners and losers. The ones that don't play any defense, that just try to score 65 points, that shit putters out at the end. But the ones that can control the flow of the game clock, the situation, be able to run the ball at will, those are the ones that seem to dominate. Do you think Sark has the ability to make this team one of those?
I think so. I think he's starting to get the personnel that he's comfortable with. I think Texas has to figure out, don't be the Detroit Lions, because that's what we're trying to be. Despite the record, we're having a revolving door of head coaches. You ain't never going to get nothing to stick if you keep trying to find. Just stay with this guy. Stay with this guy and let's make it happen. He's smart enough. He's good enough. He gets the kids. We're going to the SEC. Stick with this man for another 10 years. But the X's and O's, I've always been the type to run the ball as a receiver. And people say, oh, he's unselfish, or he's unselfish, blah, blah, blah. I'm selfish as all get out. I want to run the ball, because if you run the ball, what does that safety go? Down in the box.
Well, you got to.
One-on-one with me out there, and I'm ready to go eat. So I want to run the ball. Running the ball is essential to football. You have to do it. You have to have it. You have to control the clock. You just have to feed those big boys. Those big boys don't want to back up all day. They want to get down the trenches and go to work.
Oh, you start challenging them, especially those linebackers. I mean, you think about Tampa 2. When you first got into the NFL, how big was Tampa 2? That was Tony Dungy had brought that in. They were dropping that middle linebacker out, and you had some guys that could flat run at middle linebacker. They were getting a little bit smaller, but even Ray would drop back. He'd be 35 yards down the field, and you're running an in route, and all of a sudden you got Ray Lewis coming downhill on you. Like, that was a whole different world.
My first NFL catch was against the Bears, and I ran a beater, our old school beater. I ran a beater and got tackled by Brian Urlacher 28 yards down the field. Like, what the hell is going on? Right? Like, where the hell you come from?
Oh, they can move, man. Well, look, let me bring in the rest of the crew here, because I know that they want to talk to you. And while we're bringing them in, I want to ask you one more question, because it's been a point of contention. I'm a Bills fan. Okay. It is what it is. It's been a big deal at Bills fans. We saw it at our camp. You've been through college football camps, high school camps, NFL camps. Things get chippy. I mean, you know me, Roy. I never had a problem with the chippiness, because I could leave it at the door. I didn't carry it back to there was only one time that I carried it back to the dorm room. But other than that, I feel like competition, it's good. Like, it's like brothers, right? We can fight each other, but nobody else is going to fight us, right?
Right. Yeah. Competition is big, man. I don't think I've ever been in a camp fight. I've watched a couple of them. But I'm that guy that stays out of the, you see those idiots swinging fists. Like, why are you punching a helmet? Like, I've never understood that deal. I did see one where Aaron Donald got into a camp fight, and the guy backed down pretty quickly. So you got to pick and choose who you want to fight. But man, it gets hot out there, and that competition gets going, and that blood gets flowing, and things can happen.
Roy Williams joining us here on The Outsiders. All right, you other three guys, y'all are Longhorn fans. We'll throw it your way. Each of you grab a question here. Chris, let me start with you. What do you got for Roy?
Yeah, hey Roy, what's going on, man?
What's going on, brother?
How you doing? So last week, Chance was telling us a story about during summer camp. you and VY lined up opposite of you at wide receiver during summer camps.
It was against Texas Lutheran.
TLU. So my question is, our question as the fans is, which one of you balls out? Which one of you puts up the bigger numbers if VY plays opposite you, wide receiver?
VY is a quarterback. Okay, that's what he does best. The better question is if you line me up at quarterback, who has the better stat? Right. That's the big. But no, we're both pretty good at our respective spots. I would dominate VY on the outside. He'll be a great counterpart. Well, he'll be a great 4 receiver. Let me, BJ, and Sloan handle the 3 wides.
Right.
Yeah, Jason, you got something for Roy?
Roy, I have to ask, what was a more frustrating football experience, being a Detroit Lion or catching balls from Chance Mock?
I would say losing to Oklahoma.
Seriously, our guy Chance, he believes in the Longhorns this year, and he has wagered his beard. He calls it his most valuable possession, Roy. Now, he wasn't a first-round pick, so you can understand. But right. He says
I was a none-round pick.
He will shave his beard if Texas doesn't make the college football playoff. Do you share the same confidence that your former teammate has in the Longhorns this year?
Man, I bleed orange, man. I tell you, and you got to show me, right? I'm not that Cowboys fan where this is the year. Right, and same as the Longhorns. This is the year. No, I don't think this is it. I think they got to show it, and then I'm gonna jump on that wagon. But until then, just continue to get better. Let's do like that. And I think they are. They're getting more talent's coming, moving to the SEC. I think it's going to be a little tough, but if A&M can do it, I know good and hell well Texas can do it.
Beau, what do you got for Roy?
Well, Roy, you mentioned earlier that you would break the boosters bank NIL-wise back in your day. So other than you, who obviously would have got the biggest check, and Vince maybe too, who on your teams that nobody would think of would have got the biggest NIL check because they had the personality, not just the on the field?
Oh, man, you got all the guys. You got Derek Johnson, Sean Rogers, all the quarterbacks, Major, Chris, Chance, quarterbacks automatic. Bo Scaife, Cedric Benson. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, that's why I say we would cause some havoc at the banks a little bit, just a little bit.
I think I would have to say, I think Jonathan Scott would have been a good one. A lot of people wouldn't have thought about Jay Scott, but see, Jay Scott had a lot of personality to him. He'd have been a good one. Studdard for sure would have got it because Studdard, you're going to listen to him one way or another. Regardless if you want to hear what he says.
If y'all have Studdard on the show, please let me know so I can watch.
Oh, it's happening.
We're going to try to do that. We're going to give that a shot. Hey, Roy, a couple quick things from me. Number one, did your mom really MF Mike Leach? That was fantastic. What did she say? Like, my son's not playing for a mother pirate or what?
And she said, you can't guarantee my son a motherfucking thing. She just went on in that round. And I just kind of looked at her like, oh, shit, like you really talking to Coach like this? And that's why I said, I'm sorry, Coach. I guess I'm not going to be a Red Raider.
That's so good. Oh, my God. And then real quick, tell me the best thing about playing with Chance at quarterback, whether it's in the huddle, it's during the play. What was the best thing about playing with Chance at quarterback?
Man, Chance, what I liked about Chance is Chance waited his turn, right? He never, I don't know if I can cuss, he never complained. He never complained. He just came to work every single day. Every single day just came to play, came to work, got better, blah, 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 blah. And when his time came, you heard it on there. It's 14 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. That's pretty good. Love playing with him. Wish that things were a little different. He could have played with our group for the 4 or 5 years that we were there.
Well, nice. I sure do appreciate you, Roy. And I mean, the fact that you took time to jump on here today with us was awesome. I hope we can have you on more throughout the year because I'd love to hear your feedback after games, specifically after that Alabama game, because my beard is on the line. And You know how I am, Roy. I put my money where my mouth is. I don't know how much money it would take out of your wallet to save me, but I mean, I might have to hit you up on that later on.
So how many L's do y'all have Texas this year? L's, not wins, L's.
Two. I got them 10-2.
10-2.
I got 9-3.
I have one. I have that random slip up that we always end up with somehow, some way.
I got 3.
Okay.
Who are they?
Bama, slip up, and another slip up.
Oh, you're giving us
How bad is it for Texas fans that that's like a team now? Slip up, like where we're like every year we're going to lose to slip up because it happens every single year. One team that has no business playing on any field with the Texas Longhorns, we screw up.
And it pisses me off because, Chance, you remember when we played Baylor? Baylor used to be a bye week, right? They were a bye week to us to where Coach Brown purchased these small little stuffed bears and he put them on rubber bands and we had to wear them to class and everything. And if he caught you without it, you're in big trouble, right? And he did that so Baylor don't sneak up on you and we end up kicking their ass every time. But now it's like Baylor, Iowa State, Kansas. It's like, come on, guys.
Right.
These things are bye weeks with us.
Well, it's like Belichick says, just do your job. If the guys go out there and do their job, and I think that there was, Roy, and I think you would probably agree with this. When we played, there was a pride that we carried with what we did. That Texas on our chest meant something. You didn't just represent the University of Texas. You represented the state of Texas. You represented the guys that played before you. You represented everything that embodied being a Longhorn, and we were damn sure not going to let anybody take that from us. And I feel like that. I think it got easy because these younger cats, they came up and all they'd ever known was that Texas was good. They think they just roll their helmet out there and the shit works, and it doesn't.
Yeah, I think the talent level dropped. I think it dropped tremendously. I don't believe in recruiting 5 stars and all. I don't believe in stars because anything can change when you get to college. You're away from mama, right? You're away from daddy. You're on your own, and you got girlfriends, and you're doing this, doing that, and who knows what type of player you're going to be. So it's just, what are you going to do when you get there? And that was my mindset was I got the #1 receiver in the country, B.J. Johnson, #4 receiver in the country, Sloan Thomas. I got to step my game up, right? I mean, I was #3, but, I'm trying to get the #1. And I think that's the mindset that these kids got to have is I want to be the best on the team. And if you can get 11 guys to do that on one side of the ball, we back in business.
Oh, look at that. Our man CB reminding us on the chat. The pride and winning tradition of the University of Texas will not be entrusted to the weak nor the timid. There it is.
Effective today.
They painted it on the wall. Chance, you want to say bye to #4?
All right, 4 from 5. I appreciate you, brother. I love you, and I do appreciate you taking time with us today.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good night.
Great stuff, man. Thank you so much.
Roy.
I don't know how cool is defined in y'all's dictionary, but that was damn cool. By the way, he was also respectful enough to drop the motherfucker and then ask us if he could cuss. Did y'all catch that? Like,
yes, he asked, I don't know if I can curse on this program just moments after relaying his mom's F-bomb.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's because his mom's F-bomb. He doesn't, that one doesn't count. That's not his.
Mom swearing at Mike Leach might be the funniest thing I'm going to hear in this month. That is fantastic. All right, it is the Outsiders. That's the kind of guest that Chance Mott can pull, ladies and gentlemen. That was fantastic. And it's time for Chance to maybe toast that interview with some tequila. Chance, tell him about it. Let's see if you can do it.
El Tequilino, it is the best, okay? We've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again. When I was a poor, broke college student, I was drinking stuff that was probably from the bottom of the barrel. It was the stuff that El Tequilino throws away with the trash. But no, they've been around since 1959. They're one of only 4 distilleries in the entire country that uses distilled spring water. It's delicious. You know what that means? That means not only do the girls look prettier in the mirror, you look prettier. And as the day goes on, you feel better because you don't get a hangover because all the impurities have been taken out. They've been distilled. It's beautiful. It's soft. It's sweet. Go taste it. They have everything. They're one of the top 100 spirits in America. I love it. I'm having it now. It's what gets me through interviews with Roy. Man, what a good day it's been.
Oh, that is good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks to the folks that scanned the QR code while Chance was talking. By the way, speaking of a Wednesday and a what are you drinking Wednesday, fellas, we have not had the 49-0 toast. Why don't we get a 49-0 toast going right now? That is pretty good right there. Oh, look at Blake helping us out with a 49-0. That Oklahoma band was sad. They were playing the saddest song in the world right there, folks. That's good stuff. Good stuff. 49-0 in case y'all missed that. We'll keep doing that right up until that week of Texas OU. By the way, the plan is starting next week when it's game week, we're going to have a Monday night show, 9 o'clock. We're going to have a Wednesday night show, 9 o'clock. We're going to have a Thursday night show at 9 o'clock. Beau Edge, as far as you know, has Jeff Ketchum called a stop to it yet, or is he still good?
No, and he's in the chat speaking very favorably of the show. Yeah, he's had a couple in the chat. He just said that what Roy Williams said was the funniest thing on the OB Live channel since it's launched.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thank you, Ketch, for that. So we'll make that plan next week, get you the reviews and previews of all the games, Chance breaking it down, getting your thoughts as the fans. By the way, here's a great super chat. Thank you so much. Jay Wall 321 there, super chat $4.99. If anyone thinks Big 12 refs aren't taking 1 or 2 wins away from Texas, you're fooling yourselves. Did you not just hear your mark? Don't worry, we'll get there. Jason Dick, it is time for the Dick move of the week. I think we had to add your mark to this, didn't we?
Yeah, of course. Jason Dick is in the house, so we're gonna represent the Dick move of the week. Hello, President. How are you today, sir? Because there's no games yet. I thought this might be a struggle to find who has wronged us this week, but actually, I didn't have to look far. What did you say we are, Chad? 10 days away. Just
10 days.
10 days away from the start of another Longhorn football season. We're super pumped. I can't wait to September 2nd, get my tailgate on, and be in the stadium cheering at 2:30 p.m. for the kickoff of the season. Now, I know this program is worldwide, so for our friends down under or watching us in Antarctica, maybe you don't know, but in Austin, Texas, we are melting here, okay? It rained yesterday for the first time since 2019, and everybody went and celebrated in the streets because it rained for 20 minutes. I'm not even sure who I'm blaming here. Is it Fox Television? But why? Why does Texas need to play the Rice Owls at 2:30 in the afternoon? Put this game on at 10 p.m. Okay, I would rather go at 8 a.m. Okay, I will show up at midnight and tailgate at 8 a.m. if it means that it's going to be 102 degrees to kick off and 104 degrees to finish the game. Honestly, public health is in danger, okay? A city official should step in. I'm not sure that this should be allowed, playing games in the 102-degree heat. So if it's Fox TV or whoever it is that selected 2:30, Dick move, man. Dick move.
So you're saying the Dick move, there's Fox. That's the Fox executive that made the choice right there. That's the one. That happens, though, because, one, you're playing Rice, so you're not going to get as prime time a spot based on that. But, hey, I agree with you. When I saw that kick time, that's going to be rough. Everybody make sure you are hydrated for that 2:30 kick. But now we've added a Dick move of the week, and this one happened, I guess, just in the last day or so, gentlemen. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark goes to Lubbock and says, among other things, quote, "Coach," to McGuire, "I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but I'm going to be in Austin on Thanksgiving, and you better take care of business like you did right here in Lubbock last year." Playing to the crowd, gentlemen. Jimmy, your Longhorn fan thoughts on that one?
Ridiculous. The commissioner of a league should not be actively rooting against one of its members, even if that member is going to another conference. And I like what Yormark's done with the Big 12. I think he's kept the Big 12 alive while the idiots in Pac-12 land have let their entire conference dissipate into the ocean. But you can't talk about a team like that. But it is a harbinger of what's about to come with the officials. And the super chat was 100% right. If the commissioner's already congratulating coaches from other teams on potentially winning games, what do you think he's telling his officials in officials meetings before the season starts?
Well, hold on,
Longhorns better strap it up because the umps are not going to be on their team.
Beau, to your point, you just said he's actively rooting for them. Like, that is what he said. It's an active rooting for. So for me, let's go back to last year. How many penalties were thrown against Oklahoma State? Just counting. Was it? I think it was like if you take the U,
make it a hard if that
made it
makes
like
sense.
this.
Yeah.
That's about what it was, right? We've seen this. We understand what it is. And look, I know that Longhorn fans, some are Astros fans, some are Yankees fans. Most of them are Texas Rangers fans. And I know y'all want to talk shit to us Astros fans. We won the World Series in 2017. Whether there was cheating or not is irrelevant. I have a lot of friends in the Astros organization. And when that 2018 season came around, I said, look, you're going to hear it everywhere you go because every game that you step into that field, 90% of those fans, it's the first time they've seen you. So you're getting their first shot of giving you shit. That is what it is. You're just going to own it. Just own it and be like, hey, this is what it is. Beat us and take it from us. And that's what Texas is going to have to do. They're just going to have to go out there and say, hey, we've got to beat the other team that we're playing against. We have to play better. We have to play smarter. We have to play harder. We have to coach better. And then all the exterior stuff, it's just got to go out the door. You just got to know I'm getting held and I'm not going to get that call. Yelling at the official is not going to make them call it. They're going to sit and snark and walk off. I can tell you, you remember the Ohio State-Miami call at the back of the end zone that changed who won the national championship?
Yep.
Little thing people don't know, that was a Big 12 official. That was a Big 12 crew calling that game.
Randy
And
Chris.
that official was on our sideline one game, and he had a really piss-poor call against us. And I was smart enough to make the statement, well, you've already blown a national championship. Why not just blow this game too? Well, that didn't help our cause. It doesn't matter. You just have to let it go and move on down the road. And that's what Texas is going to have to do because the deck's stacked against them.
That's a respectful reaction as the non-Longhorn on this show. I think it's disgraceful. If I was a Texas fan, I'd be so pissed off. And I've been talking about this for a long time, fellas, because I watched Nebraska get screwed on the way out. I watched A&M and Missouri get screwed on the way out, and it is going to happen. Texas needs to win games by 10 or more. Don't get in those one-score games. It's just going to be human nature in some cases, but this is pathetic. He's the commissioner, and I've really enjoyed – I'm with you, Beau. I've really enjoyed your mark right up to that point. Just go to Lubbock and do your job. He didn't have to do it that way. That's garbage.
I mean, Chad, you're a wrestling fan. This was like a wrestling move, like a Vince McMahon type of move to go on and call out another, like to go to another team's fan base and call out their quote rival, even though Texas wouldn't consider Tech their rival. At the end of the day, he's calling out another team that's in his conference that pays his salary because let's be real, the Big 12 wasn't making money when Texas and Oklahoma leaving without the other teams coming in. Texas and Oklahoma were paying your mark's salary.
Yeah, and I'll give him his first joke, fellas. I'll give him the first joke when he said, hey, we got Texas and Oklahoma out of the conference a year early for you guys. That's fine. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But he can't follow it with the, hey, coach, why don't you handle your business? I'll be in Austin. That's just crap, man.
I think he's absolutely like the guy who's about to get dumped by his girl and it's like, no, I break up with you. and now is going and writing hateful Instagram comments on all of their photos because they've moved on to bigger and better. But Kamish says he's going to be at that game, which will be the last Longhorn game in the Big 12, not including Big 12 championship. Will that be the day that he declares the Big 12 a basketball conference?
It's a baseball conference. Always has been.
He's gonna bring some Kansas stuff, right? He'll bring like the Kansas basketball team with him to officially declare it. Chris, we say you're the voice of the people on this show. I can't imagine a Texas fan tomorrow at work, the next couple days, that's not going to be pissed off about this thing.
Oh, you got to be. I mean, you got to be. The commissioner of the conference coming out like that. But I will tell you, I mean, I agree with Chance. I mean, if you've watched, we've all watched Texas football the last few years. I mean, those calls are going to happen. We're going to have to overcome that. But I will say, great bulletin board material for the Horns going into that game, especially coming off last year. The way that game ended last year in Lubbock, now we got this bulletin board material. I mean, you're going to have to overcome these things. Bad business on the commissioner's part, but, the Horns are just going to have to, keep moving.
So I don't know if you guys checked it out today, but Chris Del Conte was on with Anwar this morning in the 8 o'clock hour. And yeah, there it is. Thank you. Chris Bennett just helped me out. CDC tells Anwar this morning, embrace the hate is their motto. They made T-shirts passed it around the office. And this is this morning before your Marks thing got out, where Chance, he was just making the point of last year in the Big 12, we're going to try to win every conference title we can, but we know people are going to hate us. We know they hate us because we're leaving for the SEC. We get it. I just don't think he was talking about Brett Yormark.
Well, and look, at the end of the day, that's my favorite thing to say. At the end of the day, when you peel back all the layers of it, Texas has to go out and play. And we know people hate us. It's just an added layer on it at this point, okay? And it doesn't matter. It's all just noise. It's external. And that's why when those guys in the locker room, I would be the bad guy. Go back to what we were just talking about with who's America's team, right? What did the Miami Hurricanes do? They were coming in against a bunch of choir boys from Penn State with Joe Paul, and everybody was pissed off because here come these dudes in fatigues. You know what? They owned it. They owned it. So guess what Texas needs to do is just go out there, be the bad boys. And what better way can you flip them the proverbial you're number one on the way out the door than win the Big 12 championship and take it with you to the SEC? Say, hey, the flagship of your conference that you were rooting against all season, we're going to take this trophy. We're going to the SEC. We're going to go compete. Have a good day.
Yeah, they do need to take the extra step. Miami didn't, though, because those choir boys and the guy who enabled Sandusky did beat them that night. That kind of
this is not Paul Harvey and the rest of the story.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
The Outsiders.
Okay, just the Outsiders. I got you. That's fair. That is totally fair. It's the Outsiders, and I'm wearing a black shirt. I need to figure that out. Okay. You know what? This might be a good time, Jason. Why don't we just all calm down? Why don't we calm down and you tell us about edibles for those Longhorn fans that are pissed off?
Yeah, if you just want to chill, all right? If you want to work on your chill game, Commissioner, I recommend the Kava Joy gummies. That's what I have here. These are the Delta 9 THC Kava Joy gummies. Just to to bring you that little bit of extra happiness during the day. Maybe you're dealing with some anxiety. I don't know. Did you just take back your old job at half the pay? I don't know. Random example. But if you're dealing with something like that, and you want to chill out during the day, I recommend the Kava Joy gummies. I got the strawberry here. Delicious. I have experimented with some other gummies out there, and they taste bad. They taste bad. These taste, the strawberries, delicious. And then I got the Kava Sleep gummies as well, which you may guess they're good for sleep, all right? If you want to lay down, put your head down, get some more restful sleep, try the Delta 9 THC Kava Sleep gummies. They infuse all their gummies with the Delta 9 THC. They don't spray it on like any of the other guys. You can scan the QR code on the screen right there, or go to Kava Gummies online at kavabrands.com. That's KAVVABRANDS.com. And if you use the promo code OB Outsiders, you get 10% off your order. Scan the QR code or use the promo code OB Outsiders for 10% off your order, legally and discreetly delivered directly to your door anywhere in the U.S. Let's chill.
Very nice. Best spot ever. All right, let's get some Roy Williams love. It's before we get out of here. Although Shy says, I'm eating an edible instead of having beer for the games. There you go. There you go. That's a way to go. A lot of options. That's why Jason is telling you about that. Somebody on the chat says, Roy Williams, my favorite Texas wide receiver with some exclamation points. Another one, Keenan Womack Productions. What's up, Keenan? Roy is so entertaining. He is. That was fantastic. A big thanks to Roy from Sal. We would agree with that. And then this would be my chat of the night. Brent, I agree. I wish I could have been there to hear Roy's mama cussing out Mike Leach. That would have been the best. And a reminder from another chatter. Oh, back to Keenan. 18 Miller Lights does not count as hydration. That is fair. That is fair. Water, mix the water in. I learned that at Deep Eddy last weekend, gentlemen. The last time I was at Deep Eddy, I didn't remember near as much. This time, there was food and water involved. It's amazing how much you can remember if you mix in food and water. It's incredible. Just a remarkable.
I think Bobby Boucher did say that hydration is very important. Did you not watch The Waterboy?
That's right. And you know what? I admitted on the show today, 12-3, I've never seen The Waterboy. It's avoided me. And I've avoided it. I haven't avoided it. It somehow escaped me all these years.
Jesus H. Cristo, what is going on?
I know. Chance, I'm one of those guys that I wasn't raised by movie people, and there's just a lot of movies that missed me over the years. That is one of them. I've tried to catch up on some. I dig some Sandler movies, but I've never seen Waterboy. I got to say,
That's the most Aggie thing I've ever heard you say, Chance. I wasn't raised by movie people. We didn't have the talkies in my home.
Well, he is from Waxahachie, so they may not have a theater even to this day.
Dude, I was raised by a scientist. The legendary Doc Hastings is a hell of a guy. But when he reads books, he doesn't read biographies or like fiction. He reads histories of things and stuff like that. And when he wanted to watch something, it was History Channel and all that type of stuff. He didn't want to go to the movies.
Apparently, you didn't hear the story about the time when Bobby Boucher came back at halftime and the Muddogs won the Bourbon Bowl. Damn it.
You almost got there.
That was history, too.
Got there.
Pequeño.
Man, so I got a feeling like any and all shows will be discussing Brett Yormark tomorrow. Remember, Anwar and the Old Fashioned, 8 a.m. tomorrow. Jeff Ketchum and myself, 12 o'clock with House Divided. And check out the new show with Alex Dunlap. It is the 3:30 to 5:30 slot in the afternoon. Friends with Football. And it's a lot of football talk and some other cool stuff with Alex. So definitely check that out.
Chance, if I can rewind to my Dick move of the week in Texas playing at 2:30 next Saturday, which we're all super pumped about. What was the hottest that you ever played in a game? Because, I mean, it's going to be 120 on the field or something, right?
Yeah, well, so if I was to go with the hottest game that I ever went, I hate to bring Texas Tech into it, but it's the reason why I really despised Baylor was because when my dad was coaching at Texas Tech, we played in Waco, and that was the old school turf like we talked about last week. Like these kids today, they play on really, really nice turf. I mean, you don't even get turf burns anymore. It's unbelievable. And it was 126 on the field that day, and I was young enough that all I could think of was, why did God send me to this Baptist school in hell? I didn't understand why that worked out that way. But the one that was the hottest to me was my very first game, and I was a redshirt, so I didn't even play. I was Clippy the clipboard holder as a redshirt freshman, and we were playing University of Louisiana Lafayette, and it was the same thing. It was a 2 o'clock kickoff, one of those Fox Sports Southwest in those old days, and it was absolutely miserable. And it was terrible because you look up at the fans, and I will say as a player, you block a lot of the stuff out. But when you see the elderly people starting to faint, they just showed up to watch a game. They showed up for entertainment. They came, they gave their time, their money to come watch us play. That's the thing that bothers me is the safety aspect of it. And there are going to be those older Longhorn fans that haven't missed a game in 40 years. And it may not be the best conditions for them to be sitting in that stadium. And so that's where I have a problem with it. I could care less for the players. Look, they've been conditioned in the heat all summer long. They'll be fine. What I worry about is the people that are sitting there watching it. Probably, I think CDC told Anwar at one game last year they sold 110,000 beers.
That was LSU in 2019, to be fair.
I was at that game.
So how many of those beers were yours?
I took his share. He was drinking other things. I took his beers.
I see. Both took your beers. Okay. Gotcha.
I was with my child.
Fair enough. I
took an Uber. That wasn't an excuse.
Yeah, when you bring the professional drinkers from LSU in, it could happen. But yeah, Jason, it is tough, man. And to me, I always feel bad for fans on two of the slots. Those 11s and the 2:30s are brutal. Hell, though, I made a run to Walmart the other night at 10:20 at night, and my car told me it was 101. So, I mean, we know it's blazing right now, but still, those September games can just get when we had that conversation about the hottest game you've ever been to. I'm just going to assume everybody's is September something because it's still when that broiler is on, and let's just hope next Saturday there's some cloud cover that's part of it.
See, I don't think I don't think that game. I don't think it was over 100 on the field. I think it was like 104, 105, but nowhere near what we're going to see in a week and a half. I mean, it's going to be absolutely brutal. And, like I'm going to let it go because it frustrates me because I know how much Texas fans are passionate. And so there are going to be some people there that are going to have a hard time. And that's what I have a hard time dealing with. Somebody wakes up in the morning, they're excited to go watch the Longhorns play. They're happy about it. They get ready. They go to the game. They're having a good time, and it ends in a bad day. That's what I don't like.
Right. Got to get that hydration going early. Get some water early in the day. A 2:30 does let you do that. If it was an 11 and then you're baking through that middle of the day, it can be bad too. So at least it is just a 2:30. 10 days away. Vince Young, Peter Gardere, pick your 10. We are 10 days away from Texas and Rice. All right, before we get out of here, let's give some of the sponsors their love. Beau, tell folks about the Stuffed Cajun Meat Market. I hear great things.
I was just there 2 days ago having lunch with a friend, and the food is just so good. I mean, I had the crawfish etouffee. It was perfect. He had a shrimp po' boy with a side of gumbo. He was ecstatic. Their QR code is going to come up in a second. Tailgate season is here, guys. You want to have the tailgate. You want to win your tailgate? Click that QR code right there for the tailgate menu. They have everything you could ever imagine, and they have something they're debuting this week that you can get there. Casey's Boudin Dip. They have converted Boudin, mixed it with cheese into a dip that I haven't tried it yet because they were throwing it out there. But I'm going to take a guess that it's really damn good. They have a multitude of sausages. They have basically any meat you can stuff into another meat. They have it. Stuffed Foods is absolutely phenomenal. They're right there off 620 in Austin. Check them out online, Stuffed Food Stores. You can hit the QR code right there. If you want to win the tailgate battle, if you want to be America's tailgate winner or the #1 team at the tailgate, go to Stuffed. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, Beau, here's the Aggie asking a question that might be entertaining before we get to Poncho to finish up. Stuffed Foods, I always thought it was just a place where you could go and buy the food. Are you telling me it's a restaurant too?
Well, it's like a Cajun meat market, like old school Louisiana. So they have about 6 or 7 tables. Little 2 tops, a couple 4 tops, but you can go in and get it fresh and eat it right there, or you can get it in a to-go container and take it home. They have the whole the meat counter with all the different sausages. I mean, my friend was up from Houston. He bought a turducken because they make nice. It wasn't the whole turducken because they only do that at Thanksgiving, but they had turducken quarters. So he bought the turkey with the duck and the chicken and the sausage. He was like, I'm taking this home and grilling it tonight.
Fantastic. All right, shout out to Stuffed Foods. Go get you some of that. And if you're looking for a comfy-ass shirt, oh, look at Colt. This is camo Colt for you, kids. This is hunting Colt. I mean, fishing Colt's one thing. It's hunting Colt. Need somebody to scan that QR code. And you know what this is? That's ATV Colt right there. That is, what do we call that, gentlemen? Is that a side-by-side? What do they call those things?
It's a side-by-side.
Little side-by-side. How fast does that the machine go right there, Chance Mock?
Probably about 65 miles an hour. Too fast for me to be operating.
That's what I'm talking about. But it's not too fast for Colt McCoy. Colt can handle it. Poncho Outdoors. I'm rocking the Bandera tonight. Black with the mother of pearl snaps. It is comfy. The guys have been talking about these shirts. First time I've had a chance to wear one extended. Thank you for scanning that QR code. Very comfy. I like the little hidden pocket for the phone. I may end up putting something a little less with less weight in there. But I'm an old man, so I like an extra pocket right in here. A little secret pocket, little secret slit for the sunglasses. I like that too. Very fancy. And so check out ponchooutdoors.com. Once the weather finally cools down, gentlemen, I got to find out about these hoodies too. You guys swear by the hoodies as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good hoodies. I got to check
it
out.
Yes, sir. I got 4 of them.
Chris, you're going to have to do better than that, okay? You can't just go, oh, yeah. Like, tell us about them. Come on.
No, I like the hoodie. The hoodies are great. Soft, lightweight. Wear them in the sun. Actually, they're cooler to wear in the sun when it's like this than any time. I wear them all the time in weather like this. It's great.
Absolutely. I coach in them. So I coach baseball. I coach football. And I like to wear them when I'm coaching because you're out on that turf. You're out in the sun. It keeps the sun off of you, but it also wicks the sweat away. So it's look weird. People always ask me, like, why do you wear long sleeves when you're in the sun? Well, because I don't want to get skin cancer. That's why. And it keeps me cool. They're phenomenal, Chad. You're going to love them.
Man, I can't wait for that. ponchooutdoors.com. Thank you for those that scanned that QR code. Thank you to everybody who checked it out in the chat tonight. We had super chats coming in. We had great chats coming in. Most importantly, number 4 showed up. Roy Williams was awesome. Not that I thought he was going to be bad. I was looking forward to it. I was just really worried about that connection. It's like, okay, let's hope he's connected. And once he got started, he was great. Chance, you were absolutely right. to lean to Roy Williams. You knew what we were getting, and you got him to. Although something about a song didn't come up. Can we get him on another time to talk about that song?
Well, there is a single that's out, and it's called Chocolate Daddy, and we're gonna put that on hold. But I can guarantee you, I can probably get him to sing it for you at some point down the road. Can't tell you the context, but all I can tell you is he's the best. It's written by him. He's an artist too.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm looking forward to the Chocolate Daddy thing. You said Chocolate Daddy is what it's called?
That's it.
Okay, all right. Well, that's something to look forward to. Chocolate Daddy. Also something to look forward to next week. We'll talk to you on Monday night. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. It'll be game week. Texas getting ready for Rice at 2:30. Jason Dick's going to be breaking down that kick time the entire week. He's so excited that the game kicks at 2:30.
Hey,
There's still time to fix it, okay?
Wait,
There's still time.
There's still time.
Chad, I thought, are we sending Jason for the Outsiders to the game? Isn't he going to have to sit in the stands in the heat and get our drunk Texas fans' reactions and all that stuff?
Chance,
That's
I
right.
don't know if you really include yourself in the ginger brethren with myself, but the sun is our natural enemy. Okay, that's not fair. I will
That's why I
melt.
wear poncho hoodies.
I will melt before the kickoff even happens.
Yeah, you didn't know we're sending you to Bevo Sweat Lodge, Jason? You didn't know that's happening? That's part of the game next week. Yes, we'll tell Jason all about that next week on The Outsiders. So thank you so much for subscribing to Orangebloods Live. Remember to get those notifications so you find out when shows are happening, when guests are coming on, when CDC is going to talk to Anwar, when Nate Boyer is going to talk to Jeff Ketchum and myself like he did today, or when Roy Williams is going to talk to The Outsiders. All that happened just today on Orangebloods Live. So search Orangebloods Live on YouTube, like the channel, subscribe, get your notifications. We appreciate that. This is The Outsiders. We will talk to you on Monday night. Oh, there's Colt. That's Colt fishing in the lower left corner. Thanks to all of the great sponsors that we've got rolling for you. That tequila that Chance can't pronounce, but he loves so much. Cava, Covert, look at that. United Rentals, rocking some of the poncho, of course. Mungia Real Estate, Stuffed Cajun Meat Market, where apparently I can go sit down and have the crawfish etouffee. That's one of my favorites. I have got to try that. We will talk to you on Monday night when we hit game week. Blake, can I get a big screen Colt to take us out? I feel like that's the vibe people need on The Outsiders. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, there's The Outsiders, and that's Colt fishing right there. 10 days till kickoff, bitches.
Happy birthday, Beau Edge.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Colt fishing's way